I'm in Pilling in Lancashire. Chris Kelly and his partner Sue bought this derelict 17th century cruck-frame house for £77,000 3 years ago. They have a budget of £100,000 and dream of converting it into their very first family home for them and their 4 teenage daughters.
Yeah, Sue phoned me up and she said, you've got to go and see this house. It's a really, really old building. It was overgrown with ivy and nettles and brambles. Just opened the door and I went in, I went, wow. And I fell in love with it, didn't I?
I knew Chris well enough that he was bonkers enough and daft enough to take on a project like this.
Once you fall in love with it, that's it, isn't it?
Oh.
Chris is a successful businessman who has done restoration projects before, but nothing as ambitious as this. He's got a teenage daughter, Beth, from a previous marriage, and she lives with him for half a week. Sue works for the local council and lives separately from Chris with her 3 teenage daughters in a 3-bedroom council house about 20 miles away. Sue and Chris first went out in their 20s and rekindled their love 8 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to think that, you know, I used to go out with Sue when I was 21, although she did dump me.
He was always there in the back of my mind, always wondering, you know, what he was doing. I suppose he was the love of my life.
I thought she married a better man in the end, and it was sad it didn't work for her. But of course now she's very lucky getting me back.
It's a fairy tale in a way, isn't it? And yeah, my knight in shining armour turned up on his horse, on his white charger.
They hope this building will be a new chapter for them as a united family under one roof. And where I can, I'm going to help, advise and support them on this restoration journey.
Chris, how are you? Nice
Hello,
to meet you.
George.
I found you
Nice
at
to
last.
meet you.
How are you?
Hello,
Nice to
Sue.
meet you.
Hi.
You well?
Yes, thank you, a bit wet.
You've got yourself a cracking little building here, haven't you? Looks like a tin shed.
Well, it is cracking a bit. Here and there.
Cracking everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
How did you come across it?
Sue found it, actually.
I did. I used to work in our local planning department and somebody gave me the nod. One of my colleagues said, there's a building going for auction on Wednesday night this week.
So you got a little tip off, did you?
Got a little tip
That's
off.
all right. I'm amazed you even came across it because it's such a difficult building to find, isn't
Well,
it?
yeah,
It's
and
off the
it
beaten
was
track.
all overgrown then.
It was like
As
Sleeping
well.
Beauty's castle.
It was, yeah.
Sleeping Beauty's
Beauty's
Castle.
Castle.
I like that.
That's what it'll be in the end.
The footprint of this small 17th century agricultural dwelling is 1,000 square feet. The ground floor comprises 5 small rooms, connected by a long single corridor. Upstairs used to be one open-plan large room, but the floor has long since collapsed as the building has lain derelict for over 30 years.
Come in, George.
It's your lovely home.
Yes.
As tired as it is, it's got so much character to it, and something about the scale and the proportion of it that
Yeah,
feels
the
quite
old-
intimate. Yeah, so you've got the timber crook frame,
Yeah, it's oak.
which basically turns and curves up to form the roofs. And what's fantastic about crook frame buildings is, as you're saying, it's
a
out
tree.
of a tree. It's
Yeah.
it's an oak tree.
Yeah.
You cut it in half, don't you? Straight down the middle.
Yeah, it's
and
a
then
bent oak tree.
yeah, and then when you've got the 2 pieces curving out like that,
Yeah, they put them together.
they form the structural frame.
Yeah.
Perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah.
The field house is thought to date from the early 1600s, when Shakespeare was writing his plays and Galileo was publishing his pioneering ideas that would form the genesis of modern science. Cruck-framed houses were cheap agricultural dwellings for socially climbing smallholders, stepping on the first rung of the property ladder, and are now found mainly in the Midlands, North West and Wales. In Tudor and Elizabethan times, much of the population lived in cruck or box-framed houses like these. Mud and straw were mixed with horse manure and covered in a lime render to make the walls. Local clay was used for the floor and the roof was thatch. Historically, a family would have shared the space with their animals, who provided the central heating and the organic aromas. Cooking on an open fire and eking out a modest living, people in rural areas like Pilling rarely left the area, travelling no further than half a day to market in their whole lifetime. This part of Lancashire has always been agricultural and remote, which is why the field house has escaped development. And it's the only house left in Pilling with its cruck frame still intact.
So this is listed.
No. I tried to have it listed.
It's not listed.
No, I asked English Heritage to list it, and they wouldn't.
Why did they not list it?
Because they said it was too many mixes of different periods.
From my point of view, looking at something like this, which is rare to the area, you're saying,
Yeah.
something which I think is an amazing architectural character of local building materials, and you've got this amazing cruck frame as well.
Oh, and I was willing to renovate it.
But
In
you
fact,
were asking them
I
to
was
list
asking them
it.
to list it,
That's unheard of. Most people are desperate not to be listed,
That's
so they
right,
can
I
do what they
know.
want with it.
Chris plans to turn the field house into a 3-bedroom cottage, rebuild the collapsed kitchen, and for the first time ever, install an inside toilet and bathroom. Upstairs, he'll reinstate the floor, making one large bedroom, which will be reached by a staircase in the hallway. With 4 teenage girls, the house would be too small for the whole family, so Chris is planning to add a 2-bedroom extension to make it big enough, although he hasn't yet got an architect on board.
So what do you want me to do for you? Do you want me to help you in any way? Or
Yeah, please. I'd like you to design that extension for me.
what sort of extension are you
crossed.
thinking of? What size? What scale?
About a third of this building, or a half of this building.
Wow. Do you think you get planning for it?
We don't know. We haven't asked yet.
If you don't ask, you don't get.
No.
And if you didn't get planning, would that be a huge problem
It
for
would,
you?
yeah.
In 1972, the field house was condemned by the council and deemed unfit for living in as it didn't have an inside toilet. After this, it was referred to as an agricultural building and not a house. It took Chris and Sue 3 years of battling with the local council to overturn this decision and win the right to turn it back into a home. But without an extension, it won't be big enough for them and their joint family, so their investment and dreams of a family home are hanging in the balance.
I think the challenge that Chris has got, even with all of his property development experience, is getting planning permission for this extension. It's taken him 3 years just to get to this stage, and getting that planning might be a lot harder than he thinks.
The 17th century interior is remarkably intact, but after 30 years lying derelict, the outside is literally falling apart.
We've rebuilt above the windows in various places because the wooden beams are rotten,
Right, okay.
wooden lintels.
So structurally, you've just been kind of tying the
Yeah,
whole
we
thing
have.
together?
We put lots of metal bars in, stainless steel bars. Can you see the lines in between the joints?
No.
We put them
Oh yeah, I
over
can
here.
there.
you
Yeah,
see?
yeah.
Here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
We put
No, so you've
stainless steel
tied all that
bars in,
together?
Yeah, there are various places all around the building which ties it all together.
Yeah.
Fantastically strong these are.
No, that's a good way of doing it. You kind
Yeah.
of stitch all the
Yeah,
brickwork
you are
back together,
stitching it all
don't you?
back.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
The exterior walls of the field house have continually changed over its lifetime. Originally they were mud and straw with a lime render, then cobble and flint were used, and later Victorian bricks. But it's the 17th century interior oak cruck frame which Chris is passionate about preserving.
The way that you're building this
Yeah.
is quite different, isn't it? It's not quite what I was expecting, because you're putting up a secondary skin on the outside of the old structure.
We are.
Why
We're
is
sort
that?
of wrapping it in a big blanket.
So in effect, you're saying, well, look, let's preserve the frame as perfectly as we can by wrapping it in this kind of protective, new build, 21st century structure.
Yeah.
It's actually quite clever. I
Yeah.
shouldn't sound so surprised, should I?
No.
I didn't mean it like that. No,
Yeah, it is quite clever.
but what's working in your favour is this isn't a listed building.
Yes.
Because if it was listed,
We
you would
couldn't do it.
never be able to do this in
No,
a million
never.
years.
No,
You would have to build on the inside and
Yeah.
preserve the outside.
we would.
I love the idea of encasing this fragile oak frame with a cosy protective blanket. It's great to see Chris tackling this derelict shell with such gusto. But seeing the size of his and Sue's joint family together, I really hope we can get planning permission for their extension, because I can't imagine how they'll all squeeze into this tiny cottage.
So what did you think when you first saw the building after it had been bought?
I wondered why he'd bought it, to be honest. And I don't see how it's going to turn into anything spectacular right now.
Emil
It's
doesn't
just a
believe
shed.
in the project.
No,
You don't believe in it at all?
I have faith in Chris, but it doesn't look like it's going to be anything too much yet.
I just saw it and thought, why has he bought a tin shack? I don't understand. It just looks like an old shed.
I can see now why you need the extension.
I know.
Look at them all! It's like, how do you actually survive with
Well,
all this
I
lot?
want a room at that end of the house, and I want them to have a room at the other end of the house. So I can get some peace.
You can just live in the extension on your own, mate.
It's
yeah?
all right. We'll get friends round. We'll have parties. It'll be fine.
So what happens if you don't get the extension?
We can't live here. It's just too small.
Yeah.
Unless there are 4 of them in a bedroom.
I don't know how you're going to survive.
No, I don't.
I don't know how you survive to this date, actually.
No, I don't.
Look at them.
does okay.
Trouble. Absolute trouble.
From the 1700s, life for agricultural farmers who lived in cruck-framed and box houses began to dramatically change. They created cash by selling off surplus oats, barley and wheat, and turned any spare land into cash crops like hemp and flax. This extra income meant home improvements, so out went the mud and straw, and in came the bricks. Some even built an upstairs. Opportunities to earn even more money came with the agrarian revolution, improving farming production techniques as demand for food increased when cities expanded. As the farmers got wealthier, cruck-framed and box houses were either demolished or turned into animal sheds. So it's a miracle that this cruck-framed building has survived at all. Chris and Sue have given me the task of designing the extension. But before I start, I want to find out more about the Fieldhouse's historical features. So I'm meeting Chris O'Flaherty, an architectural conservationist from the University of Central Lancashire.
So Chris, since the building's been stripped back, have you found anything unusual about it? Any discoveries?
Yeah, actually we've found some quite interesting things on the truss here. If we can just move that plank out of the way, yeah. We can see there on the tie beam on the truss, on the crook blade, yeah, these marks. We've got a 3 little numerals there. We've also got a 3 below there.
Right, okay.
Difficult to see.
That's quite nice, isn't it? It makes sense in some ways that you're putting this kit of parts together.
It does, yeah. Yeah, it makes a great deal of sense, and it shows us how the crook trusses were actually pulled back up into place, or pulled into place having been constructed on the ground. This part of the building, we would call this the house part, and this would have been the part in which the fireplace would have been. So originally it would have been the main part where the family would have spent most of its time. Visitors would have been accepted into this part, so it was a public building, or public part of the building, the fireplace for cooking, etc. But essentially it would have been the hub of the house. Right. And originally it would have been the only part of the house that would have been heated. Those other parts that we've seen back there wouldn't have been heated originally. I suppose the significant things about the building are the crook frame that we've got left over here, obviously.
So with this building being so significant in terms of its interior,
yeah,
why has it never been listed?
I think perhaps the reason why it wasn't listed was that this area of the world is slightly remote. Historically it was difficult to get to, and perhaps it was a part of the world in which whoever is involved in the listing investigations either A, saw the building and didn't think it was anything significant from the exterior, or B, perhaps wasn't that interested in vernacular buildings, was more interested in the grand churches, etc.
So sort of vernacular architecture like this, like everyday living architecture, was kind of left behind, wasn't it?
I think people can relate to buildings like this because it was the houses of the masses, and they are the buildings that predate the suburban development of the 20th, late 19th and 20th century. So they are buildings that we recognise and we can perhaps relate to, and the buildings of our forefathers rather than the forefathers of the higher echelons of society, if we can say that.
That's quite interesting, actually. I suppose there's as much pride in these buildings as the expensive stuff, shall we say.
At local level, maybe even more pride.
Now, with this extension to the Fieldhouse, I've actually decided to take quite a traditional approach to the new building. And the reason being is that there's been so many issues with the planning on this building in the first place. And I think by going for something too modern, I'll just put the planners off. So I might be playing it safe, but I think on this one, it's the right thing to do. With the new extension, I think it's really important that we pick up a similar line for the highest point of the building, because it's gone from single story really to 2-story, and we want this new extension to be 2-story as well. So what I think we should do is have a very simple, minimal, single-story glass link. This is all thatch, and the idea is that you would have the same roof profile kind of here, turning down, again in that kind of curved thatch style. Simple rendered finish here, which matches the rendered finish of the existing building. So there's a consistency in all the materials from the old building through to the new. But I just want this to be a very simple, traditional extension to the building. In the same materials, the same scale, and the same proportion, because I think if we don't, we're never going to get planning. If they say no, then Chris just can't use this building properly. He needs the extra bedrooms, he needs the extra space.
Chris's strategy for the extension is to hold off with the planning application until the Fieldhouse looks restored and presentable with the new thatched roof. Although he's been pushing forward with the build over Christmas, he's been hit with a catalogue of setbacks.
Yeah, I've had a few problems with illness over Christmas. 2 of the lads are ill. One's actually having an operation tomorrow on his eye. He's got a bad eye, so he might actually lose his eye. I've been ill. And unfortunately, over Christmas, the 2 weeks we're off, every day was dry and blue sky. Because when you're working on the roof, obviously if it starts pouring down with rain, it takes longer to do things. And just makes it a bit miserable, really. But the pressure's been on to get the roof done for January.
The thatcher arrives and he has some bad news.
Hi, Barry.
Good morning, Chris.
Happy New Year.
And to you. Nice to see
Cold?
you again. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
When are you going to be starting?
Well, they've started cutting the Scottish reed now, beginning of last week.
Right.
So they've got to get it cut, they've got to clean it out, and then get it all bundled up. So we're looking at the end of this month.
Yeah.
When it will get delivered down here.
Chris was hoping that the new roof would demonstrate his high-quality restoration approach and may be a positive influence on the planners.
Yeah, the thatcher's let us down drastically because he said he'd have it all thatched by January, and the weather's been so bad in Scotland, the reeds cannot be cut, so we've lost a lot of time there. I'm not overly hopeful that the actual planning department will pass it. I think it'll be a fight and we'll have to go to the planning committee. And then I think hopefully then they'll look at this, they'll see what work we've done, they'll see how beautiful it is, and they'll go, they'll use common sense and say, yeah, well, he's done a really good job, it looks fantastic, why can't you have an extension?
It's a bright, misty spring morning and a big moment on site. After a 6-week delay, the thatcher has finally arrived.
Morning, Barry.
Morning.
How are you? I'm George. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
How's
George.
things? Master Thatcher.
Yeah, that's the one.
I like the sound of that. So is this a very ecological way to do a roof?
Oh,
these
very
days?
much so. Yeah. It's a natural material, so it performs. The reeds are hollow, so they trap the air, so they create a very good insulation.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And how long would a roof like this last, do you think?
On average, we normally say for water reed, anything between 50 to 75 years.
Wow.
But the cappings, that's the fancy bit you see along the top, the ridge,
Yeah.
they have to be replaced about every 8 to 15 years.
Right, okay.
And that can't be done in reed because it's not pliable enough. We have to use either straw or sedge for that.
In 1800, there were nearly 1 million thatched buildings in England. But by the 1960s, only 35,000 were left. Today, there are 24,000 of them that are listed. Surprisingly, given that Chris has a slew of properties and a good credit history behind him, even he's been bitten by the credit crunch. The bankers refused him a £200,000 loan for the proposed new extension.
I went to them and I said, look, I've got this really nice house, will you lend me some money on it? And they said no. They said they'd lend me the money when it was finished.
Well, that's not good. You need it now.
Well, really, I need it to build the extension.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to wait till this is finished, go to them again and say, it's finished now, please lend me some money. Get the money, and then build the extension.
I suppose what will happen is when the field house is habitable
Yeah.
and it's a finished building,
Yeah.
they'll see that you've added value to that building
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've added value to this just by getting planning permission, because before it didn't have any. So obviously, as soon as you get planning permission, it increases in value.
But what worries me is you've gone in, bought the field house
Yeah,
at an auction,
yeah,
you wanted to make it into your family home, but on condition of that you want to extend it because you think it's not going to work as a family home the size it is.
Yeah.
We haven't got planning yet,
Yeah.
and even if we do get planning,
Yeah.
you might not get the finance to build it,
and I can't sell it.
and you can't sell it. I think it's just a sign of the times, really. The whole property market's kind of on its knees. The banks aren't willing to lend, and even with a good client and customer like Chris, they're nervous about giving any money out. Luckily, Chris has got a few quid in the savings account to pay for the rest of the field house to be brought back to life. But when it comes to that extension, it might never happen. It might never happen.
In the meantime, the best thing I can do for Chris and Sue is to show them the scheme I've come up with and hope they can sort out their financial crisis.
Okay, so what we've got is the old field house itself.
What I'd like to do is add an extension to the field house of 1,000 square feet with a thatched roof. Downstairs there'll be a utility room and large living room with glass corner walls to make the most of those views. Upstairs there'll be 2 large bedrooms which Chris so desperately needs, plus another bathroom. The new extension will link to the field house by a glass corridor.
Yeah, the plans were great, weren't they?
Yeah,
Just what we wanted, really.
I think they'll be good to take to the planners. Well, I'm hoping they will. I'm hoping they give the right impression of what we're wanting to do and make it look like a modernish development that's not going to detract from the 16th century beautiful cottage we're trying to recreate.
Yeah, we need the extension to get the living accommodation and the bedroom space. Without that, we're snookered, so we're definitely relying on this planning meeting.
My biggest worry now, to be honest, is the planning. It took Chris and Sue nearly 3 years to get planning permission to convert the field house. If it's going to take another year, 18 months, 2 years to get planning permission for the extension, they're not going to get the house that they desperately need. He said to me time and time again, the field house is a decent-sized building, but it's not big enough for our family. We haven't got enough bedrooms and we haven't got a big enough living room. So if he doesn't get the extension, I don't know what he's going to do.
If they're to realise their dream of living under one roof as a united family, this is the biggest day since buying it 4 years ago. I've designed a traditional thatch extension, connecting it to the field house with a glass corridor. We're off to see the local planning officer to get a steer.
I think for us today, the main things that we need is, in principle, can we extend the building? And then if we can extend it, what is the preferred style of the department, really? What would be their view on it?
What I would say is, obviously, an extension per se is acceptable. That's the first thing, that there is no problem with the principle of it.
Because I understood that because you, as a council, had rejected the planning application originally, you would automatically reject the extension.
No. Whilst I can see where you're coming from in terms of maintaining the sort of same scale and heights and so on, the extension proposed is tending to be as large as almost the original dwelling. So I think it probably needs scaling down somewhat to make it seem subordinate to the main property.
You mean in terms of its footprint or its overall scale, so even the height as well?
Yeah, I'm afraid so, yeah.
The thing is, Chris, how are you going to feel about the reduction in scale?
I don't know, we'll have to look at it.
We'll have to chop our legs off then, won't we?
It might come to it, there might be no point building the extension. My concern is that, can we still have the 2 stories in the extension?
I'll be honest with you, Chris, I think you might struggle. Because
that ruins our plans. I mean, that would ruin the whole project then if we couldn't do that, because we couldn't get 2 bedrooms in it.
Yeah, planning's a compromise, unfortunately. You aren't in an urban area, you are in the countryside, so that brings with it planning constraints. And I think you may have to moderate slightly what your aspirations for your extension are, I'm afraid.
I mean, the only way of doing it then, Chris, is to adopt the principle that was, if you like, in the old building before, where you are a kind of single story, but with a high roof, and you put a mezzanine level within that roof space.
Yeah, something like that, which gives you probably pretty much what you want. Maybe not exactly, but you may be getting the majority of what you would like, but that would still probably, I say all but seen it on paper again, but that will probably overcome some of our concerns.
Right, okay.
Well, we're getting some clues.
Yeah, they're not good though.
The view on historic buildings now, even from English heritage point of view, is that the correct way forward for extensions or additions is of a modern form, contemporary design, 21st century.
And it sounds to me that you'd prefer it maybe not to be a thatched roof to match the existing
If I'm honest, my personal view, and I can only give you my opinion as a professional town planner employed by the council, is that you don't slavishly copy, and by that, yes, I'm also suggesting that perhaps you don't use thatch on the extension.
How do you feel about that, Chris? In terms of scale,
well, it's fantastic because thatch roofing is very, very expensive.
He's so tight, honestly.
So it's a big relief.
I think what we should do is go back to the drawing board, redesign it, reduce the scale, look at doing something which maintains 2 bedrooms, because you really need that for your family. and then we might have a chance.
Okay, yeah. 40% reduction on the size of the extension is quite big.
I think we did think we might have to make it a bit smaller.
If the extension isn't big enough, then we won't be able to build the extension and we won't be able to move into it. So it's crucial, really.
Well, I seem to get that completely wrong, but I don't mind, to be honest. My approach was to go for a bigger, more traditional extension, where the planners have now said they want it smaller in footprint and in height, but we can go more modern. And I think that's fine. That's part of the compromise and the journey of the planning process. So instead of picking that higher level up through here, we're going to have to come down again. So I'll probably pick this level up now. Which is the lower level of that roof coming through here. Still with the glass link. And then the new extension will basically be of a lower design and a more modern roof. So instead of it being in the fluffy thatch, it's all going to be in slate. And then we're going to come up with a detail here which is all in glass with a floating rendered panel.
While the extension plans are being revised, the actual restoration of the historic field house is going well. The new floor is in and the original old oak beams are being strengthened and treated. But the reality of living together as a family for the first time is beginning to hit home, and it seems bachelor boy Chris might be getting cold feet.
It's getting to the stage now where we will be able to move in together. It means I'm going to have to spend every day with Sue, which I'm not really looking forward to, because I actually like being on my own. I like being in my bed. I slept there last night. It was lovely being on my own in bed and not having somebody else kicking you or nagging you. So I'm really apprehensive about it. She just comes part-time at the moment, and I like part-time. Part-time's good.
The restoration of the field house isn't only bringing emotional issues to the surface for Chris, but financial ones too. Building a brand new extension to house their combined family will cost £150,000, but will only add £100,000 to the value of the property.
Well, the estate agents told me that the property will be worth £450,000 done up when it's finished, which is great. It's not about the money, but it's great to know it's going to be worth £450,000. The problem is, they've told me that with the extension, it'll only be worth £550,000, which is a big dilemma for me, being a businessman, because the extension is going to cost me at least £150,000 to build. So I'm actually going to lose money by building this extension. Although it's not about the money, it's about bringing Sue and I together and the families together, it still goes against the grain, losing money on property.
I think Chris is becoming worn down by all the delays and financial risk with this build. So I'm hoping my new modern design for the extension will reignite his passion for the project. In line with what the planners wanted, I've reduced the footprint of the extension by 40% and added a new roof to make it look more contemporary. Slate, not thatch. Most importantly for Chris, I've managed to squeeze in 2 bedrooms, albeit one of them is now a single, not a double.
Well, George's new plans are okay. I mean, it's got the bedroom in it, hasn't it, Beth? It's still got the bedroom and the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the stairs, and it's still got the link, but it's not as big as it was before. I mean, I wanted this great big lounge because, you know,
Well, it looks over the garden,
all
doesn't
these
it?
girls sitting in this lounge and their friends.
Yeah.
Where are we going to sit?
Well, that's it. Don't know really. In the kitchen.
We're going to have to get a shed down the garden.
Yeah.
But hopefully the planners will go for this.
I'm sure this is looking more like they've been thinking about.
And we have to have this extension.
It might not be exactly what they want, but crucially it's the best chance they have of getting planning. With the thatch now on the roof, there's a new momentum on site.
So how much did all this cost you for the thatching?
Nearly £19,000.
See, although that's a lot of money, and I'm sure it pains you to pay for it,
Yeah, it did.
I think it's good value. I think it's good value. I think for something this beautiful,
Yeah, it is beautiful.
this
isn't
well crafted,
Yeah.
I think it's worth every single penny. It's probably the most important feature of this house now.
Yeah.
Obviously the cruck-framed
Well, it
inside
did because
is.
it had thatch on before, so you couldn't build it without.
Exactly.
It would just look stupid.
Honestly, money
so
well spent.
It was essential. Mind your head there.
What are you going to do with all this then?
Have you noticed how much lower this is now?
Yeah, no. What are you going to do about that?
Leave it.
Are you?
Yeah. It's part of the character.
What, banging your head every time you walk into the room?
Well, you can't destroy 500 years of history just because you bang your head on it.
Kind of. Can you just lift it?
Lift it where?
Like, from there to there, and tie it into that oak that you've got there. It's still 500 years of history, but
this goes all the way through, though, right the way through to the other end of the crook.
That's going to drive you mental, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
It's your house.
Yeah, I know.
Now the building is structurally sound, Sue is involved with the interior finishes.
It should get a bit more interesting now. It should be a bit more girly stuff. Some nice things like looking at kitchens and bathrooms, and I don't like really plasterboard.
She's soon hitting the shops to plan the feathering of the nest.
Cups. See, because it all fits through. It's really nice. See? Yeah, that's all going.
I do like this bit. I do like the bit of the prettiness and choosing the light fittings, the bedding, the furnishings, the paint for the walls. That's really my cup of tea. I think it would be any woman's dream. I sort of know some of the limits of what we've got to spend, so I think he trusts me.
Chris, who lives in a large house with daughter Beth, is beginning to get worried about how and where all his stuff is going to fit when they move into the tiny fieldhouse cottage.
It's quite an important building, this, isn't it? Because it's about kind of bringing all of your family together. Really.
It is, yeah.
Yours and Sue's.
Yeah.
In one place.
Yeah. For me, it's actually downsizing because I've got a pretty big house now, so it's going to be hard.
Are you going to be all right with that?
I don't know. That's why I need the extension, because it
Just
made
to
me
give you
feel
some
at
more
home.
space.
Yeah, because you know, I do wander around and I've got a huge, great big office and loads of different rooms, so it will be hard coming to a smaller house.
Meanwhile, it's excitement for Sue and her family, who can't wait to see how their brand new home is coming along.
All right? Right, come on in. Come and see the
come on,
main
girls.
bedroom. Tell us what you think.
So, wow. Huge.
It's got a roof.
It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were squeezing into this room, but no, it's bigger.
It's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. I can't believe how much has changed.
Have you girls actually had a chat yet about who's having what room and where you're going to be?
No. No, to be honest, but I think as I am the eldest and the biggest, I get the big one.
I think as I am the youngest and I have least say in everything, then I'll have this.
Okay, come through and have a look. It's all finished. It's all done.
This is it. What room's this?
The piano we seem to have lost a place for, so
Yeah.
where does it all go? We've got to have the extension. It needs a music room as well, George.
So we need a music room, we need a poker room, we need 2 extra bedrooms, we need a bigger living room over in that extension.
Yeah. It needs to be like the TARDIS then.
Exactly. God, you're in so much trouble, mate, honestly. So much trouble. What have you let yourself in for?
They'll all be married soon.
They'll be gone. You can have a look at your new kitchen.
Can I come and buy stuff for the cottage with you, please? To have my influence.
It's going to cost you so much. You'd never believe. If you thought the bill was expensive, just wait until these start. The pennies really dropped with me today. You walk around with Chris, having a few doubts about moving out of his big house into this little idyllic old cottage, and then seeing the girls walking around, big teenage girls, very tall, walking around these tiny little rooms, ducking under all the timbers. And I don't know if they can all live there. Without the extension, I think it would be impossible.
The restoration has gone well, but getting planning for the extension has come unstuck. My first design was a traditional thatched 2-bedroom extension that linked to the cottage with a glass corridor, but this was rejected by the planning office.
You may have to moderate slightly what your aspirations for your extension are, I'm afraid.
We then followed their advice and have come up with a more modern design without thatch, and today it's the committee hearing.
Hopefully the councillors have been round today in a coach and actually seen the house.
If they don't get planning for the extension, their dream of uniting their 2 families under one roof will be scuppered, and their emotional investment in the project will take a battering.
Sorry.
I just don't like it. I think it spoils it. I can't support this.
To me, it's totally out of character for the building and for the area as well.
All those in favour of the recommendation and against?
The vote is 4 in favour and 8 against. The modern design, as recommended by the planning department, is rejected by the committee. It's a major blow, and it's hard not to take it to heart.
Absolutely fucking pissed off, actually. I don't know what they would accept. I don't know, I'm confused.
We couldn't live in it at the moment.
But we've just got to battle on, haven't we? And we've got to find a way around it. I mean, there will be a way around it, but at the moment, it's hard to know what is the way around it. There was nothing clear there.
Just a minute, this is more than 3 years. This is three.
They're behind it.
I know so.
Well, that's right. Well, I don't want to say too much because they're behind.
I'm gutted, but thankfully Chris and Sue aren't quitters. They might have had a setback, but the extension is too important to them and their family. When I first saw the field house 1 year ago, it was a derelict shed with a tin roof, literally falling apart. And the only thing still intact was its original oak cruck frame. But now, just 1 year after getting planning to restore it back to its former glory as a home, I'm back to celebrate the completion of this fantastic restoration project.
Oh, hello, George!
Good morning,
how
mate.
are you?
How are you?
Fine, how are you?
While, isn't it?
It's been a while.
Now, things?
Hello.
Lovely to see you. You all right? Hello, girls. Are you well? Lovely to see you all. It's like an army. The army comes out. This is probably the best this building has ever looked. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does look amazing, doesn't it?
That looks great. All the renders done, so it's got this nice waterproof jacket on now. Is it all completely done?
Yeah, completely.
You're all going to fit in?
No. No, that's a minor problem we've got, George. Yeah, you put the kettle on, girls.
Sue and Chris have gone for a traditional country cottage look. What was once the room that kept the animals dry is now a warm and comfortable living room. I can remember teasing Chris about keeping all the low oak beams.
It's part of the character.
What, banging your head every time you walk into the room?
I'd still find it frustrating, but I really applaud his integrity to keep as many original features as possible.
After a couple of beers on a Friday night, you wouldn't want to come back to this house.
It's a bit higher. Well, it's got higher as we've gone through the build.
You've had to build all this up, haven't you, to get
Yeah.
insulation in. It looks great. Oh, look at the timbers, they look fantastic.
The other inspired feature of this restoration project is the exterior skin Chris built around the building.
It's actually quite clever.
Yeah.
I shouldn't sound so surprised, should I?
No.
This has meant Chris could let the original oak frame float ornamentally, as the new thatched roof sits on a completely new structure.
I've never seen anything like this before.
No.
I haven't. It's like being inside Moby Dick. It's such a clever idea that you've just left the old structure where it is and you've just wrapped it in this new building, basically.
The old buttery is now a study area, and even here, the half-oak cruck frame is a feature.
And this is this kind of Jurassic-like timber floating in mid-air.
Yeah, which looks fantastic, doesn't it?
This is the half crook, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just gorgeous colour, isn't it? Yeah. And you can still see the joiners' marks on them on this side. The craftsmen of the time made marks on it so they could fit it all together in the right place.
What was once the dairy is now a bathroom.
The new modern 21st century bathroom.
Yeah, but it's still got the old cobble wall.
But of course,
which is original.
Yeah.
Because part of the building, if you remember, was cobble, part of it was brick, part of it had a stone plinth with timber on top. So it was, again, the external walls were all different. We still got the crook coming through, so you can sit in the bath and see the history.
There are 2 bedrooms on the ground floor, one under the stairs and one by the bathroom. A year ago, the upstairs didn't exist. It had literally fallen down. Chris has rebuilt it with the kitchen downstairs and created a landing that really puts you in touch with the building's history.
Oh, this is great. Oh, what's fantastic about coming up to here? It feels like you're in the National History Museum or something. It's the one area of the building that you really see this history,
you can see everything here, can't you?
It's like having a jewel in a glass box. You can see the frame from the very bottom where it's nearly touching that skirting
the shape
board.
is beautiful, isn't it? And the shape as it sweeps up there.
Twists
just
and
fabulous.
turns all the way to the top, to the apex of the roof.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
The The only room upstairs is their master bedroom.
Come through.
The idea with this building downstairs was more agricultural, wasn't it? Much more animal-based, and they would have slept up on the top floor above the animals.
Yeah. And the heat would have risen up here.
Yeah, and the smells. Absolutely beautiful, and you've got that lovely window with the view out over the fields that way. What makes buildings like this very special is the history, the people that have lived in it, and the people that have built it. And you've all added to that now.
The quality of this restoration project is first class. Creating a new outer skin to preserve the original interior features is really clever. The great irony is that had this building been listed, Chris wouldn't have been allowed to do it. I know the family have been really keen to find out the exact date of the building, so I sent a sample of the original oak off to the lab for testing.
Hello there. Surprise. I took a sample from the building, from the old timber.
Oh, yes.
And took it off to be dated. To try and get an original date for this building.
1978.
It wasn't 1978, surprisingly enough. Have you any idea when you think it might be?
Yeah, we've all had a guess.
We've had a bet on it.
Have you had a bet on it?
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Chris is funding the bet.
Yeah.
From a brilliant source, very well dated, very accurately dated from the tree ring dating process. The date of this building.
Yeah, go on.
1632.
Wow.
Did you win? Did you say 1635?
Wow.
Well done, Ben.
What did you win?
20 quid. 1635. Wow.
I've got a present for you.
What have you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
A book of the field house.
Oh, fantastic, George.
1632, field house is built all the way through from 1734, 1845, 1925, all the people that have owned it. 2005, field house is put up for sale, bought by Chris Kelly and Sue Hindle. 2009, the field house has been restored. Chris?
That's fantastic, George.
That's for you.
Thank you very much
All
indeed.
the history of this building.
Cheers, George.
Well done for saving
Thank you. Cheers, Sue.
Cheers.
It's in safe hands, this building now.
Yeah, love you.
Unfortunately, it's not happily ever after just yet. Practically, the field house without an extension is just too small for them all to live here, so they've chosen to rent it out while they battle on with the planners. I really feel Chris deserves to get planning. Without his vision, this historic building would have disappeared forever. He has shown integrity, sensitivity, and his triumph should be rewarded.
It's quite emotional, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah. It's not like building a new house. A new house is easy and it's all very modern. But when you actually bring history back, it just gives you such a satisfying pleasure. You just can't describe it.
This has been a fairy tale restoration project, bringing this simple cottage back to life, which has somehow survived since 1632 with its timber crook frame intact, is just unbelievable. And for Chris and Sue, it's been a very difficult 4-year journey. But despite giving everybody in the local community a building they can be truly proud of, the planners have made the decision that they're rejecting any modern or traditional extension. But what this building has done for a couple who've rekindled their love after 20 years apart, it's given them a real focus, and I'm hoping a family home for the future.